Golden breaks the dawn, comes the eastern sun, over lake and lawn, sets its course to run. Birds above us fly, flowers bloom below, through the earth and sky, life's great mercies flow. As the spinning globe rolls away the night, nature wears a robe spun of morning light. Dawn break in me too, as in skies above. Teach me to be true, fill my heart with love.
Good morning, afternoon, evening. Welcome. We're glad you joined us. My name is Pat Goller, and I'm your service leader for the Abraham Lincoln Unitarian Universalist virtual service. It's our custom in the UU tradition to light a chalice at the start of our service. By doing so, we declare this to be a time of significance, a sacred time together. We are reminded that teachings of both science and various religious traditions tell us at the beginning there was a spark. With time, the spark continued to unfold, to encompass all that is, to be engendered in each living being, to incarnate in all beings. With the lighting of this chalice, we declare this time together to be sacred. If you have a chalice or candle at home, I invite you to light it now with me. This flame affirms the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. Please repeat after me. May the light we now kindle,
May the light we now kindle
inspire us to use our powers,
inspire us to use our powers,
to heal and not to harm,
to heal and not to harm,
to help and not to hinder,
to help and not to hinder,
to bless and not to curse,
to bless and not to curse,
to serve you, Spirit of freedom.
to serve you, Spirit of freedom.
We're excited to be restarting our Change for Change program today. When ALUUC stopped meeting in person, we suspended Change for Change, passing the bucket during service in support of specific charitable organizations. Now, we introduce our new program online or via a mail-in check. We support one organization per month. Donations may be made in two ways. Mail a check to ALUUC, 745 Woodside Road, Springfield, 62711, or donate online at www.aluuc.org/donation/form. And in where the form asks you the donation type, you write change for change. In the month of February, we support the local Garvey Tubman Cultural Arts and Research Center, whose mission is to provide services for interests in the African American community's educational, emotional, and cultural needs to provide high-quality, child-friendly, and relevant subject matter. Here is Shatria Smith, their executive director and ALUUC member, to tell us more.
Good morning, congregation. My name is Shatria Smith, and I am thankful to introduce to you the Garvey Tubman Cultural Arts and Research Center. First, giving honor to God and my ancestors, Pastor Wolf and Assistant Pastor Amy Brooks. I would like to pay homage as well to the late but never forgotten Martin Luther King Jr., who wrote the blueprint of our lives. Garvey Tubman shares his enthusiasm with the understanding that we can share a determination of success, share a deep belief in self-worth, and a commitment to beauty, love, and justice. Our organization mirrors many of the UU7 principles, that each person is important, accepted, and learning, and working together for peace, fairness, and a free world. Garvey Tubman Cultural Arts and Research Center facilitates 3 8-week music programs a year for underserved families in the Springfield area. The spring program begins April 6, 2021. We supply the instruments and the instructors. Our objective is to share the knowledge of music, music theory, phonics development, and understanding, helping students with tuning and retaining the 12-note combinations. We have many other worthy programs that I wish I had more time to share with you. Please check out the Garvey Tubman Cultural Arts and Research Center Facebook page and look forward to our website debut. I want to thank you for helping us to be able, civic-minded stewards of our community as we grow together in faith. Thank you very much, and have a blessed Sunday.
Our speaker today is Matthew Villarreal. Matthew is an intern from Eden in Missouri. Now, in his second year, he pursues a Master's of Divinity. He won his bachelor's degree from Doane University in Nebraska in religious studies, with minors in communication and philosophy. Doane is affiliated with the United Church of Christ. He is a recent convert to UU, only a year and a half. He attends Elliott Unitarian Chapel in St. Louis, and when he's at home in Colorado with his family, he goes to the UCC Church. He feels a calling to serve in the UUA and hopes to pursue a congregational ministry. Welcome, Matthew Villarreal, to ALUUC's pulpit today.
Our opening reading is from To Bless the Space Between Us, a Book of Blessings by John O'Donohue. This is the time to be slow. Lie low to the wall until the bitter weather passes. Try as best you can not to let the wire brush of doubt scrape from your heart all sense of yourself and your hesitant light. If you remain generous, time will come good, and you will find your feet again on fresh pastures of promise, where the air will be kind and blushed with beginning.
Almond trees renewed in bloom, do they not proclaim life returning year by year, love that will remain? Almond
Today's reading is an excerpt from 21 Things You Didn't Know About Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year is celebrated by more than 20% of the world. It's the most important holiday in China and to Chinese people all over. People welcome spring and what it brings along. Plantings and harvests, new beginnings, and fresh starts. You can also call it the Lunar New Year because countries such as North and South Korea and Vietnam celebrate it as well. And because the Spring Festival goes according to the lunar calendar, which means there's no set date for Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year ranges from January 21st to February 20th. But the myths are much more interesting. According to one legend, there was a monster named Nian. It would come about every New Year's Eve. Most people would hide in their homes, but one boy was brave enough to fight him off using firecrackers. The next day, people celebrated their survival by setting off even more firecrackers, and that practice became a crucial part of the Spring Festival. As in the myth about Nian, firecrackers are supposed to scare off monsters and bad luck. That same night, families also burn fake paper money and printed gold bars in honor of their deceased loved ones. Similar to the Korean Chuseok holiday or the Mexican Day of the Dead traditions, they believe the offerings will bring fortune and good luck to their ancestors in the afterlife. Showering isn't allowed New Year's Day. Sweeping and throwing out garbage isn't allowed before the 5th. This is to make sure you don't wash away the good luck. On the other hand, there's a day before the Spring Festival dedicated to cleaning. This day is to sweep away the bad luck and make room for the good. You eat dumplings for every meal, every day. Well, technically you're supposed to, but not many people do that anymore because you can have too much of even the most delicious foods. So most people will eat dumplings during the New Year's Eve dinner. Others will eat them for the first breakfast. London, England, San Francisco, USA, Sydney, Australia, all claim to have the biggest Spring Festival celebrations outside of Asia. We can't say if that's true or not, but if you have a Chinatown nearby, you can definitely get a feel of what the celebrations are like. Make sure you go check out the parades, lion dances, lantern statues, fireworks, and amazing food. When the college I went to, Doan University, first launched its Asian Studies program in 2017, many students, such as myself, had their first immersion in the celebration of Lunar New Year. Now, I wasn't quite sure what to expect because I had never experienced it, but I decided to go. My schedule was open, and it seemed like a good excuse to procrastinate on my homework. As I walked into Perry Hall, where the celebration occurred, I remember smelling the delicious foods and feeling hungrier than I already was. Well, I thought, I know there's food, that's good, I like food. So then I remember everything was decorated in dark red, including the tables and some of the decorations on the wall, and I found myself appreciating the aesthetics of what I was seeing. And once I had taken my seat, the Asian Studies professor handed out a sheet of paper explaining what all the foods symbolized. As I looked at the piece of paper, I saw that the dumplings, which happened to be one of my favorite foods, symbolize both good luck and wealth for the coming year. Yes, wealth. Now, many of us were financially struggling college students who had to occasionally borrow money from our parents just to make a trip to Walmart. So believe me when I say we were pilfering those dumplings. I lost count of how many I ate, and frankly, it's a miracle that I didn't get sick. I also enjoyed a few of the other foods which were also said to bring good luck for the new lunar year. A little luck for upcoming exams that I would take was much appreciated. Soon after we started eating, the lion dance began, in which some drummers played a rhythm while 2 lion costumes, each with 2 people in them, danced around the room. We were told to feed the lions with the red and gold slips of paper on our tables when they came near. Feeding the lions was also said to bring good luck for the Lunar New Year. After this was a Japanese taiko drumming performance that we sat to watch appreciatively, as a couple volunteers were also invited to participate. At the end of the celebration, some lettuce was thrown onto the floor. As the Asian Studies professor explained to me, picking up a piece of lettuce, it's believed that the more lettuce you pick up, the luckier you will be during the next lunar year. Well, thanks, I thought to myself. You just hoarded that piece of lettuce. Where's the luck for me? I was too slow. Guess I had to be quicker. So, through this whole experience, I found myself believing in the celebrations. And as I began to believe this, I had new emotions rise up in me. All this gathering of luck, I felt, would make the upcoming lunar year a good one, even in a year that followed the year of one of America's most controversial elections. The upcoming year, I thought, would surely be better. Despite how bloated I was from all those dumplings gave me hope of a better year. Now this Friday, China and many of the surrounding countries will be celebrating this highly popular holiday. Everything that's happened over the past lunar year will be over, and a new beginning will start. By participating in these rituals, the people who celebrate this holiday find themselves having hope that the new year will be full of luck and good fortune, despite what may have happened in the previous year. And perhaps we too can learn something from the hope cultivated on Chinese New Year. The monster Nian, described in today's reading as the monster who would come every New Year's Eve until one boy finally fought him off with firecrackers, according to the Chinese legend, might have some significance for the situation we find ourselves in right now. As noted in today's reading, firecrackers are lit on Lunar New Year to scare away both monsters and bad luck. So the monsters can be thought of as mythological symbols of the misfortunes that creep into people's lives. And this past year, and the beginning of 2021, we've had a lot of Nians creep into our lives. A worldwide pandemic, destructive wildfires in California and Australia, an attempted coup at the United States Capitol, a divisive election, and countless other crazy events that have ensued. That's not to mention the everyday injustices and problems we face: poverty, racism, police brutality, personal struggles, climate change, family estrangement, homophobia, oppression, privilege, and all kinds of other terrifying monsters. And like the people in the legend of Nian, sometimes we might see the monster and feel that our only choice is to hide because we have no chance of defeating that monster. And maybe we wonder to ourselves, should I hold on to the hope that the upcoming year can be better? I mean, we're still in a pandemic. Climate change might just create more fires this summer. Our political divisions seem insurmountable, and the bigger issues we're facing seem impossible to conquer with a system that's meant to retain the structures that be. Can we really defeat Nian and hope for good luck? But sometimes, someone brave comes around and sets off some fireworks to scare the bad luck away. And sometimes, such resolutions often come from the people from whom we least expect it, like the little child in the story. The little boy who scares off the monster might perhaps make us think of unexpected people in our day: Greta Thunberg, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, the Stoneman Douglas High School shooting survivors, and many others who were among those least expected to create systemic change. These unexpected heroes have fought for what they believe in because they have hope that things can be different. And sometimes hope seems futile, but maybe when all is lost, sometimes it's the only thing we have left to hold on to. And by holding on to hope and setting off those fireworks, even those of us who feel powerful or who feel powerless can begin to create systematic changes to our oppressive systems. So can we believe in good luck for the rest of this year, despite some of the evidence to the contrary? I believe we can, and when we do have this inkling of hope, we can also begin to set off some fireworks that can scare the Neans in our lives away. Perhaps if we hold on to the hope that we can stop the disaster we're headed towards with climate change, we'll be optimistic enough to go green in our own lives and have motivation to make the hope manifest in our fight for life on this planet. Perhaps if we hold on to the hope that poverty is not simply a fact of life, we can set goals and work to end world poverty once and for all. These tasks seem impossible if we're honest with ourselves, but even that little inkling of hope that we feel deep down in our bones can be just the thing to make these impossible tasks possible. So are we willing to feel into hope and to work for that justice? And let's not forget the signs that change is possible. Right now, we're seeing a new beginning unfold. Our country now has a new administration. The vaccine that's been found is allowing us to see light at the end of the tunnel as we reach what may finally be the end of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now that we have a new administration, it's possible that we might even come closer to reaching a resolution to the global warming crisis soon as well. 2020 and the beginning of 2021 have been a wild, unforgettable ride, no doubt. Yet many of those things that have caused us so much pain are beginning to look like they may be coming to an end before too long. And who knows? If the problems that we've encountered over the past year can be overcome, then maybe the other Neans in our lives can be alleviated as well. The forms of oppression and injustice so prevalent in our world, perhaps they too can be defeated. Maybe someday no one will have to be homeless because of where they were born. No one will be murdered because of the color of their skin. And teenagers will not be estranged from their families because of who they love. Maybe soon, justice will finally prevail. And perhaps our personal struggles and pain may also be transformed in the future. Maybe for you that pain is anxiety. Maybe it's depression, or maybe it's trauma. Maybe it's that unusual personal struggle you're having that you feel no one else can fully understand. Maybe it's financial trouble. Maybe it's that relationship that just feels broken beyond repair. Whatever that Nean in our lives is, we can hold on to hope that it can get better, even if we can't always see the way forward. So let's move forward in the struggle for justice, for healing, and for a better future. When we hold on to even the smallest amount of hope, we take the first step in that struggle. So let's hope for that hope today. Amen.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home.
Today's closing reading is called Beginners by Denise Levertov. But we have only begun to love the earth. We have only begun to imagine the fullness of life. How can we tire of hope? So much is in bud. How can desire fail? We've only begun to imagine justice and mercy, only begun to envision how it might be to live as siblings with beast and flower, not as oppressors. Surely our river cannot already be hastening into the sea of non-being. Surely it cannot drag in the silt all that is innocent. Not yet, not yet. There is too much broken that must be mended, too much hurt we have done to each other that cannot yet be forgiven. We have only begun to know the power that is in us if we would join our solitudes in the communion of struggle. So much is unfolding that must complete its gesture. So much is in bud. As our time comes to a close, I invite you to extinguish your candle or chalice with me. In our tradition, we offer these words to conclude our service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts always.